Walford has seen chaos before, but nothing like the fallout from Okie's sudden death. One moment changed everything, tearing through two families who were already hanging on by a thread. And the craziest part? Nobody saw how fast things would spiral. It all starts with Harry, who never meant to hurt anyone. He was trying to protect Kojo, acting on instinct, and in one slip of a second, everything collapsed. That single moment didn't just end a life. It set off a chain reaction that rattled the entire square. At the same time, Ravi's world was coming apart in a completely different way. Rumors had been circling about his role in a shady operation, and when the truth finally surfaced, his involvement in exploiting Kojo, he got picked up by the police. But instead of going down, he cut a deal behind everyone's backs. He walked out as an informant, hoping no one around him would ever find out. But secrets like that don't stay buried for long, especially not in Walford. Priya discovered everything, and the betrayal hit her hard. She ended things without hesitation, stunned that Ravi could drag a vulnerable man into his mess. Suki and Eve were desperate to keep the peace. With a major adoption assessment coming up, the last thing they needed was more tension. They tried smoothing things over, keeping Ravi in check, trying to convince themselves that maybe, just maybe, the worst was over. For a moment, the house felt calm. But calm never lasts long around here. Priya overheard Ravi setting up another deal, proving he hadn't changed at all. And the moment she walked into number 41, everything exploded. She came in furious, shouting about Ravi's lies, and right in the middle of it all stood their assessor, Robin, watching the chaos unfold. The timing couldn't have been worse. Ravi had no choice but to admit he never stopped dealing, and Suki and Eve, terrified of losing their future, told him he had to leave. But before he could even process the mess he'd created, a group of men appeared out of nowhere and dragged him off. When he eventually stumbled back to the square, bruised and shaken, the message was clear. He was in far deeper trouble than he ever admitted. Priya begged him to walk away from the life that kept destroying everything around him. But the biggest question still hangs over him. Will he finally confess that he's secretly working with the police? Meanwhile, another family was falling apart for a completely different reason. The Mitchells were struck by shock when Teddy stepped forward to take the blame for Okie's death. He wiped down the knife, planted his own fingerprints, and told the police he was responsible. All to protect Harry for a future that would break him. And then he dropped the real bombshell. He was planning to plead guilty. Nicola, already hiding a pregnancy she wasn't ready to reveal, tried to hold the family together as everything around her broke apart. But Harry and Barney couldn't move past the thought of their dad facing years inside for something he didn't do. And Harry, already traumatized by what happened, began slipping. He turned back to drugs, looking for anything that could numb the fear and guilt eating him alive. It didn't take long for Nicola to see he was heading down a dangerous path, one that could wreck him completely if no one pulls him out in time. So now two families stand at breaking points they never imagined. Ravi is torn between loyalty, survival, and the truth he's terrified to admit. Harry is drowning under the weight of a secret that destroyed his entire world. And Walford, once again, is bracing itself because the fallout from all this turmoil is far from over. The real question is who will make it out intact and who is about to face